Hello there and welcome to the latest Ernst Grange Community Academy website. We've spent the week, as you can probably imagine, preparing for the return of our students from the week beginning the 8th of March. Um, Obviously, there is quite a bit to do in terms of making sure the school is COVID secure, or as COVID secure as it possibly can be. We've had over the past half term and a bit, well over 100 people that have been in school. But obviously, when you've got another 850 students and at least another sort of 50 to 60 additional staff coming in, as you can imagine, there are quite a few things that we need to make sure that we've done ready to welcome everybody back. One of the things that Boris didn't announce on Monday when he talked about children coming back into school was that actually for secondary schools there is a requirement that we offer lateral flow tests to every student, and the government want us to do 3 lateral flow tests for each student in the first 2 weeks of their return. Now, obviously, if you don't want your child to have a lateral flow test, then that's your right to say no. A consent form has been sent out, so you need to fill that in, please, stating if you don't want your child to have a lateral flow test. I would encourage, please, everybody to allow their child to have a lateral flow test, because it's just really important for us to be able to identify any positive cases, because the last thing we want is for students or staff to come back into school and for positive cases to mean that students are going to have to go home again and self-isolate. So we really, really don't want that to happen. What Boris didn't say was that there would be a staggered start for secondary schools to allow for this testing to take place. So I met with a number of local authority head teachers this earlier on this week on Wednesday, and we discussed the different ways that schools were going to stagger the start. So we're just finalising our plans to make sure that we are staggering the start in a way that is going to really support those exam year groups who have missed such a lot of learning, to try and give them a bit of extra time. And I'm going to talk through in a second how we're planning on doing that. We also had some new safety guidance. And again, I'm sure you were aware of this, that where we've been asking students and staff to wear masks in all indoor spaces other than classrooms, we are now going to ask students to wear masks in the classroom where they cannot socially distance, because we've got 30 students sitting in a classroom. Therefore, it is impossible for students to socially distance. So they should be wearing masks when they are in classrooms, please. So the week beginning the 1st of March, we have actually, again, only just found out, and this is why our plans have been slightly delayed, because we have changed them slightly. We found out yesterday that we were in fact allowed to get students in to test them before the 8th of March. Now, what that means is if we can get as many students through and tested next week, it means we would be able to have more students back in to having face-to-face teaching from the week of the 8th of March. So we will be sending out a letter and a link to you today, just to confirm the times that we will be offering lateral flow testing for your child's year group and for your child's house. So look out for that one, please. Other things that will be happening next week, on Friday, we are going to have an inset day for staff training. Now, we should have had an inset day in February, but we've moved it because at that point in time we thought, well, actually we will use that inset day to prepare for coming back in for live face-to-face teaching. So we have shifted it, and we're going to have it on this Friday. And part of the reason, A, is to prepare us for the live face-to-face teaching, and to go through some of the new COVID protocols with staff, so they're clear, as clear as the students when they come in. But also because we don't really want to carry this inset day into the summer term, because I'm sure you'll agree that we don't want children having any extra time out of schooling when they're actually back in. So we want to avoid that happening. Now, during that Friday, that doesn't mean a day off for the students. We just want to make sure that the students use this as a day to catch up on any outstanding work that they've got to complete, so they are as prepared as they can possibly be for when they come back into school. And then the week beginning the 8th of March, at this point, some students will already have had 2 lateral flow tests, so this will just be a week where they're able to have their 3rd lateral flow test. For some year groups, they might have to have their second and their third lateral flow test during this week. So in terms of this is the week where students are allowed to come back in for live face-to-face teaching. What we think is going to be really important is that students are welcomed back into school, and it's not just come on in, right, we need to get you straight into lessons, straight into work, off we go. Because our students have been working really hard and they have been doing a lot of work at home, which we're really impressed with, as we keep saying. But actually it's their emotional well-being, it's their mental health and well-being. We really, really want to make sure that students get welcomed back properly and that they feel that they've got time to actually almost process what has happened and what is going to be happening going forward. So we're going to have effectively a session for each year group on a day of each day of the week on that week beginning the 8th of March, where a year group will be invited in. We'll have this emotional wellbeing, culture reset, COVID protocol day, and then they will go home and continue with their online learning until everybody comes back in on the 15th of March. What we are trying to do is ensure that we can get select exam year groups to come in for full face-to-face teaching that week. And as I said, we will be finalising our plans and getting those plans out to you early next week, so you're fully aware of what's happening. But for sure, on Monday the 15th of March, all students, all year groups will be back in school for face-to-face teaching. And then coming up, obviously we had the exam briefing or the exam Ofqual consultation process results this week. That came out yesterday. So I will do a briefing for our exam year group so the students are aware of exactly what that means for them for taking their exams or getting their exam results this summer. And we've also got a Year 10 online parents evening on March the 18th, so that's a Thursday. So we look forward to meeting with our Year 10 parents on that evening. So many thanks for listening to another one of these briefings. As I said, there'll be far more clarity when I contact you later on, either today or at the beginning of next week, to let you know exactly what's going to happen about students coming back into school for face-to-face teaching. Okay, thank you very much. Take care and stay safe.